Hey, fourth graders, it's time to continue reading our chapter book, Walk to Moons by Sharon Creech, and we are to chapter 26, and it is called Sacrifices. The weekend was unbelievably long. Phoebe arrived with her suitcase on Saturday morning. I said, "Golly, Phoebe, are you planning to spend a month here?" When I took her up to my room, she asked if she was going to be sharing the room with me. "Why, no, Phoebe," I said. "We built a whole new extension just for you." "You don't have to be so sarcastic," she said. I was only teasing Phoebe. "But there's only one bed." "Good powers of observation, Phoebe. I thought you might sleep downstairs on the couch. People usually try to make their guests feel comfortable." She looked around my room. "We're going to get a little crowded in here, aren't we?" I did not answer. I did not bash her over the head, and I knew why she was acting the way she was. She sat on my bed and bounced on it a couple of times. I guess I'll have to get used to your lumpy mattress, Sal. Mine is very firm. A firm mattress is much better for your back. That's why I have such good posture. The reason why you slouch is probably because of this mattress." "Slouch?" I said. "Well, you do slouch, Sal. Look in the mirror sometime." She smashed on my mattress. "Don't you know anything about having guests over? You're supposed to give your guests the best that you have. You're supposed to make some sacrifices, Sal. That's what my mother always says. She says in life you have to make some sacrifices." "Well, I suppose your mother made a great sacrifice when she took off." I said it. I couldn't help it. She was really getting on my nerves. "My mother didn't take off. Someone kidnapped her. She is undergoing tremendous sacrifice at this very moment in time." She started unpacking. "Where shall I put my things?" When I opened up the closet, she said, "What a mess! Do you have some extra hangers? Am I supposed to leave my clothes all jammed up in this suitcase all weekend? A guest is supposed to have the best. It is only courtesy, Sal. My mother says, I know, sacrifice." 10 minutes later, Phoebe mentioned that she was getting a headache. "Oh, it might even be a migraine. My aunt's foot doctor used to get migraines, only they turned out not to be migraines at all. Do you know what they were?" "What?" I said. "A brain tumor." "Really?" I said. "Yes," Phoebe said. "In her brain." "Well, of course it'd be in her brain, Phoebe. I figured that out when you said it was a brain tumor." In my book was a picture of a tree. I drew a round head with curly hair. I put a rope around the neck and I attached it to that tree. It went on and on like that. I hated her that day. I didn't care how upset she was about her mother. I just really hated her, and I wanted her to leave. I wondered if this was how my father felt when I threw all those temper tantrums. Maybe he even hated me for a while. After dinner, we walked over to Mary Lou's. Mr. and Mrs. Finney were rolling around on the front lawn in a pile of leaves with Tommy and Dougie, and Ben was sitting on the porch. I sat down beside him while Phoebe went looking for Mary Lou. Ben said, "Phoebe's driving you crazy, isn't she?" I liked the way he looked right into my eyes when he talked. Extensively, I said. "I bet Phoebe's lonely," said Ben. I don't know what came over me, but I almost reached up and touched his face. My heart was thumping so loudly that I thought he would be able to hear it. I went into the house. From the back window, I watched Mrs. Finney climb a ladder placed against the garage. On the roof, she took off her jacket and spread it out. A few minutes later, Mr. Finney came around the back of the house and climbed up the ladder. He took off his jacket and he spread it out next to her, and he laid down on the roof, put his arm around her, and he kissed her. On the roof, in the wide open air. They just laid there on the roof and kissed. Kind of made me feel peculiar. They reminded me of my parents before the stillborn baby, before the operations that Mom had. Ben came into the kitchen. As he reached into the cupboard for a glass, he stopped and looked at me. Again, I had that odd sensation that I wanted to touch his face right there on his cheek, in that soft spot, you know. I was afraid my hand might just lift up and drift over to him as if I wasn't careful. It was the most peculiar thing. Guess where Mary Lou is? Phoebe said when she came in. She's with Alex on a date. I'd never been on a date, and neither, I assumed, had Phoebe. That night at my house, I pulled the sleeping bag out of the closet and I spread it on the floor. Phoebe looked at it as if it were a spider. Don't worry, I said. I'll sleep in it. I crawled in and pretended to fall asleep immediately. I heard Phoebe get into bed. A little later, my father came in the room. Phoebe, he said, is there something the matter? No. Well, I thought I heard someone crying. Are you okay? Yes, she said. Are you sure? Yes. I felt bad for Phoebe. I knew I should get up and try to be nice, but I remembered when I had felt that way, and I knew that sometimes you just wanted to be alone with the birds of sadness, and sometimes you just had to cry by yourself. That night, I dreamed I was sitting on the grass, peering through a pair of binoculars far off in the distance, and my mother was climbing up a ladder. She kept climbing and climbing. It was a thumpingly tall ladder. She couldn't see me, and she never came down. She just kept on going. Let's talk about a few things that happened in 26. So Phoebe is being a little annoying, right? And she is being really rude to everyone. She was rude to the Finneys and wouldn't eat their food, and talked about cholesterol and all that. And then she's been rude to Sal. She's been rude to all her friends at school. She's lied, but she's going through something really difficult right now, and she doesn't know where her mom is. And so she's worried and scared and thinking that her mom's not gonna come back, and she's just going through a lot. Her dad's going through a lot, her sister, they all are handling their emotions very differently. And then there was Sal, and Sal has pretty much gotten aggravated with Phoebe and just can't take it anymore. It seems like, and Phoebe comes over to spend the weekend, and when she had the migraine, and Sal was drawing in her book, and I figure this is like just her journal or something, because it doesn't explain. It was just in my book was a picture of a tree, so I drew a round head with curly hair and put a rope around it. I mean, that's terrible. But we have to remember also that Sal is struggling too, because all these things that is happening to Phoebe is bringing up all these memories and the hardest time in Sal's life. And so then she's taking it out on Phoebe. But at the same time, it's good for Phoebe to have a friend that's been through something like this before. But Sal hasn't even told her that she's been through something like this. Maybe she needs to tell her so that they can talk about it together. I don't know. But anyway, it's not really a great way to treat one another. They haven't been very nice. But we need to always remember, though, that these people are in pain. And sometimes things like this happen with people that are around us. We think, why are they so hateful? Or why did they talk to me that way? Or why? Sometimes it's just not all about me or whatever. Something else can be going on in their life. So it's always just important to understand that. Take a step back. As how could I help? Let me just be kind and keep going, and always treat one another the way you would want to be treated. So just wanted to add that little bit about it, because I know Phoebe and Sal were not being very nice, and but they both are going through a lot of pain right now. And that is the end of chapter 26, Sacrifices. And we will read together next time, chapter 27, and it will be next Tuesday since we don't have online classes Monday or tomorrow, Friday. And I hope you guys have the best Easter, and I miss you, and I can't wait to finish our book, and I will see you soon. Bye. Love you. Happy Easter.